Okay, guys, well, I am going to be showing you the verb called, called querer, okay? So, what I would like you to do before we even get started with this verb is I would like you to get your yellow irregular verb sheet out. This looks very similar to the AR verb list that I gave you that you had to write down each conjugation. I dance, you dance, we dance, they dance. That was purple. This one that I'm asking you to get out is yellow. Okay? So go ahead and push pause on this and get out your yellow irregular verb sheet. There should already be a star and ser and tener on that yellow verb sheet. If you do not have one, there are some extras up on the table that you may grab. Okay, so at this point, pause and get that out and get ready and go ahead and push play when everyone is ready and has a pencil out. Okay, so querer means to want. Okay, and if you look up at the top, there's my little chihuahua from Taco Bell. They used to have a ton of commercials that said, Yo quiero Taco Bell, which is, I want Taco Bell. So we're going to learn how to change querer and conjugate it. Querer is what's called a stem changer. So a lot of times, just like cantar and bailar, those endings, the AR gets taken off and you add something on. Well, on stem changers, there is an extra I added in the middle, and that's why we put it in the irregular forms as a stem changer. Okay, because the stem of it, the beginning of it changes. So, querer means to want. So under infinitive, you need to write querer, Querer, and then you need to write under the meaning, it means to want. So just like we did with all the AR verbs, we're going to write these down too. So the first one would be the yo form. So the yo form is yo quiero. Now notice at the top, when you have querer here, it's UE. And notice what happens down here. It doesn't go to UE, it goes to UIE. Yo quiero. The to form is tú quieres. So you have Quieres, tú quieres. For the he, she, and you to an adult form, you formal form, you're going to use quiere. Quiere. On to the we form. Now, the we form, 90% of the time, whether it's stem changers or irregular, your we form is going to stay the way it should, okay? It's not going to throw that random I in there. So it's just going to be Queremos. Now, you don't have to do this next one, which is Spain, but the vosotros form, for those of you that are interested in writing the ones for Spain, the vosotros form, it's queráis, Quereis. Now, if you look at all these endings, okay, we've only learned the AR verbs so far, so all of the endings should have ended in AS, E or A, AMOS, okay? But these are ER verbs. So they're going to look just like the AR verbs, except for one thing. Instead of an A, it's an E. Okay, so the to form, ES instead of the AS. For the he or she form, it's an E instead of the A. For the we form, instead of AMOS, it's EMOS. So what do you think that the they and the you all form of to want is? So they want would be, if you wrote quieren, you were correct. Quieren. And once again, that I is back in there. So the only one that didn't have the I was the we form. Okay? If I'm going too quickly, go ahead and pause it. Otherwise, we will move on. Alright, so just like we did with me gusta. You remember me gusta when we said I like? So just like with me gusta, when you use querer in a sentence, the next verb has to stay in infinitive. And for those of you that forget what an infinitive is, It has to have an R at the end. Bailar, cantar, dibujar. All of those are going to have R's at the end. They're called infinitives. They're verbs that haven't been conjugated or changed yet. Okay? So my example for this would be, just like we said, I like to sing. Me gusta cantar. Think about how you would say, I want to sing. I want you to take a second and think about how you would say, I want to sing instead of I like to sing. Okay? You should have thought, keep doing that, I apologize. You should have done, yo quiero cantar. Yo quiero cantar. So all you're doing instead of saying me gusta is you're saying quiero, which is I want. Now, I didn't put the yo there. Do I have to? No. Can I? Absolutely. Okay? So that yo is just there. It is just a reinforcement. It means I. All right. Moving on to the next part. Other irregular verbs that you should know, and we're not going to go through all the different conjugations, but below querer, I want you to write these two verbs. I want you to write ir, which means to go, and I want you to write hacer, which means to do or to make. Okay, and you need to make sure for hacer that you write both to do or to make. Now, ir you've seen before. Think about when we said I have to go. We said tengo que irme. We've also seen hacer before, but just briefly when we said to do exercise was hacer ejercicio. So I'm going to show you these examples with these irregular verbs. I apologize. Okay. So if I'm going to say, he wants to go with you. I want you to pause and I want you to try to figure out how to say, he wants to go with you. You should have answered, él quiere ir contigo. Él quiere ir contigo. All right? Also, I want to do exercise. Now, I just told you previously that the word to do exercise was hacer ejercicio. So how do you think you would say, I want to do exercise? Now, just like with the one before, we changed querer, so you don't change ir. You can only change one verb if there's two of them together. You change the first one. So it's going to be the same one here. You should have written, yo quiero hacer ejercicio. Yo quiero hacer ejercicio. Okay, you can either pause it, or if you are finished, we'll move on to the next slide. Okay, now coming into questions, I want you to write this question down in Spanish. ¿Qué haces el fin de semana? And if you look at fin de semana, we've talked about that before. Semana was week. Fin means the end, so you're saying the end of the week. And haces is the to form of hacer, which we just learned was to do or to make. So it's saying, what do you do at the end of the week? So what that's asking is, what do you do on the weekend? What do you do on the weekends? Okay, so something easy that you can write down as an answer for this would be, for example, I cook. Yo cocino. Yo cocino. Or if you're saying something like I like to do something, and let's say this time I want to say I like to cook, I'm going to say me gusta cocinar. Notice on the first one I did change, I conjugated it because I didn't have a verb before, so I cook. On the second one, I like to cook. Here's my conjugated verb, so I'm going to say cocinar. So me gusta cocinar would be I like to cook. Now maybe you're not wanting to ask, what do you do on the weekends, but more, what do you want to do on the weekend? Okay, so what do you want to do this weekend? How do you ask somebody to say, what do you want to do this weekend? You're going to say, ¿Qué quieres hacer el fin de semana? What do you want to do the end of the week? Okay, so you're saying, what do you want to do this weekend? So this time they're saying, what do you want to do? So you're going to have to answer back with a I want. Okay? So maybe instead of saying I cook or I like to cook, somebody says, what do you want to do this weekend? And you want to cook. How do you think you would say, I want to cook? Go ahead and pause it, try to write it in, and then I'll give you the answer. So I want to cook. You should have put, yo quiero cocinar. Yo quiero cocinar. Now, there is a difference explaining There's a difference in explaining what do you want to do this weekend and what do you want to do on the weekends, as in multiple. So if you want to explain that every Saturday you want to swim, all you're going to do is you're going to make your the plural when you talk about Saturdays. So my example for this would be, I want to swim on Saturday. That's just one Saturday. It's one time that you want to go swimming. So you would say, yo quiero nadar el sábado. Okay, and so that's why the is really important, because when you want to talk about swimming every Saturday, you want to go swimming on Saturdays, all you have to do is you're going to write the same sentence, but all you're going to do is change your the to a plural the, los sábados. Okay, so yo quiero nadar los sábados. I want to swim on Saturdays. Go ahead and pause it if I went too fast, and we will continue. So we're going to practice. She wants to swim. She wants to swim. They want to play soccer with me. I want to draw with you. And you don't want to wear the skirt. I'm going to ask that you pause the video, and I'll give you about 3 or 4 minutes to work these out, and then we'll go over them together. Number 1, she wants to swim. You should have had ella quiere nadar. Ella quiere nadar. They want to play soccer with me. Ellos quieren jugar al fútbol conmigo. Ellos quieren jugar el fútbol conmigo. I want to draw with you. Quiero dibujar contigo. If you put the yo in front of quiero, that is also right. Yo quiero dibujar contigo. And you don't want to wear the skirt. Now, I know that was probably difficult because I'm now realizing that you didn't get to wear, so go ahead and write this in. No quieres llevar la falda. The word llevar means to wear. Now, when you're doing a negative, it's just like in the beginning when you said no me gusta, your no is going to go right in front of your querer. Okay, no's go right in front of the verb. Okay, so there was your practice. Now, here is your homework. Your assignment. You are going to go over to the counter. You're going to grab an Expressate book. You're going to open your books to page 90 or 90. On this page, on 90 and 91, if we went too fast or you didn't get everything that you needed to, the information is on these 2 pages. So go ahead and read through if maybe you didn't understand, and it'll give you a little bit better insight. Once you're done kind of looking over the notes, you're going to do activities number 15 and 16. I'm going to leave it up to the sub whether they want you to do activity number 17, but for now I would like you to do number 15 and number 16. And you are going to put your name on your paper, you're going to put your number on your paper, and you're going to turn it in. When you are finished, I would like you to get onto my Weebly site, and I want you to get on Quizlet and practice querer a little bit, please. All right. Thank you very much. Hasta mañana.